Your toddler is playing with a toy. Another child walks over and takes it right out of their hands, and your toddler's face crumples before you've even decided what to do. If you're a parent who freezes in that exact second, or if you felt your blood pressure spike watching the other parent standing there, not stepping in, leaving your child stuck in a fight that isn't even close to fair, this video is for you. Because every time this moment gets resolved by whoever's faster or louder, your child learns that ownership and turns don't actually mean anything. And that's the opposite of what you want them walking away with. In my practice, this exact scenario, the frozen parent, the uninvolved other parent, comes up constantly. And there's a script for it that works whether or not anyone else steps in. And if you stay until the end, I'll give you the exact line to use when the other parent never looks up from their phone. Now, freezing in the moment feels like staying neutral, like you're not overstepping into someone else's parenting, but neutral isn't actually what's happening. Your child is watching you not act while their toy is taken. And that teaches something too, usually that they're on their own in moments like this. The other common instinct is stewing silently, getting angrier at the other parent by the second, and saying nothing until you're fuming in the car afterward. You're not wrong for freezing. You just haven't had the script for this moment yet. And nobody teaches parents that they're allowed to speak calmly to a child who isn't yours. Developmentally, toddlers as young as 20 months already actively assert ownership in disputes. And by 30 months, they're standing their ground against a peer's attempts to take what's theirs more consistently than children without a claim to it. Now, your toddler's sense that something is theirs is already real. They just don't have words yet to advocate for themselves, which is exactly why your calm voice matters here, regardless of whose child you're addressing. Picture it like being the only adult who noticed a rule got broken at a game. Everyone else keeps playing like nothing happened, and it's tempting to let it just go rather than be the one who says something, but somebody has to name the rule out loud or nobody learns it. So what does speaking up actually sound like? Let me walk you through it. This is the same 3 A's method that I use for toy conflicts in either direction. So first, you acknowledge, second, you anchor, and third, alternative. 3 steps, and the third one is what makes this work even when the other parent never even looks up from their phone, because none of these steps require their participation. Fair warning, the first move is going to feel like it's taking too long for how urgent the moment feels. That's exactly why it works, because it gets both children calm enough to actually hear the anchor that comes next. Now, before we get to that, just want to let you know, inside my free workshop, I walk you through how the same acknowledge, anchor, alternative shape applies across almost every conflict that your toddler will have. The anchor step specifically comes from the choices and checkpoints piece of my 5 C's parenting framework. And it's the piece most parents skip because it feels slower than just handling it. If you want the full framework, it's free at drlindsayemmerson.com/workshop. Okay, now let's get to step 1, acknowledge. Get low and name both children's feelings before doing anything else. You were playing with that and you wanted a turn too. You can say this to both children, even if only one of them is yours. You're not disciplining someone else's child, you're narrating what's happening, which is different. Now, neurologically, naming the emotion out loud begins calming both children's stress response before you ask anything of either of them. Skipping straight to give it back often escalates the crying instead of ending it. Now, if you've ever jumped straight to that's not yours and gotten more tears, not less, this is exactly why. Now, step 2, anchor. Here's the part that surprises most parents. You are allowed to calmly state the ownership rule to a child who isn't yours. Now, of course, there are going to be some cultural variations. Feel free to mention these in the comments. I'm speaking generally from a United States perspective here. So you might say something like, That's his toy. It's his turn right now. Said plainly, said kindly, said the same way you'd want someone to speak up for your child if the roles were reversed. This isn't refereeing the other family's parenting, it's naming a fact. Research on toddler ownership shows that by 30 months, toy owners are far more likely than non-owners to resist when a peer tries to take their toy, meaning your child likely already feels that it's unfair on some level, even if they can't say so. Now, naming it out loud validates something they're already sensing. Does this sound familiar? If you've stayed silent because you didn't want to seem like you were parenting someone else's kid, this is why that silence hasn't been serving your child. So let's do a little before and after here. Without this method, you say nothing, your child cries, the other child walks off with the toy, and nothing is resolved. With this method, that's his toy, it's his turn, said calmly to both children, and your child sees you advocate for them clearly. But what happens when the other parent is standing right there and says nothing? Step 3, alternative. Immediately after the anchor, offer the other child something to do while they wait, even if they're not your child. Let's find something else for you to do while it's his turn. This is the step that makes the method work with or without the other parent's involvement, because you're not waiting on their permission to guide the moment. If the other parent does step in at that point, great. You can hand the moment back to them warmly. If they don't, you've still resolved it calmly for both children. In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to give you the exact line for the version of this that happens at every park, the other parent on their phone not noticing at all. In that moment, crouch to both children's level, say the anchor line once, help the other child find something else, and go right back to your own child. You don't need to make eye contact with the other parent or wait for a reaction from them. The goal isn't resolving it for the parent or managing the adult. The goal is just resolving it for the children. Parents worry that speaking to another child feels like overstepping. It isn't, as long as your tone is calm and you're stating a fact rather than issuing a punishment. It's his turn lands very differently than you're being mean. Most parents, if they notice it all, would be relieved someone else calmly kept the peace. So make sure that your tone is non-judgmental and you're coming from a place of warmth and teaching. Let's look at the results timeline. So day 1, expect the same tears when a toy is taken. The method gives you language, not behavior, to fix the other child. Days 3 to 5, your own child starts to relax faster once they hear your anchor line, trusting that you will speak up. And by week 2, you'll catch yourself saying the anchor line calmly on the first try without the frozen hesitation that you started with. Picture a playground 6 months from now. Another child grabs your toddler's shuffle, and the old you would have frozen, watching the other parent scroll on their phone. Instead, you crouch down, calmly say, "You were using that. It's your turn right now," to your child, and just calmly to the other one, "Let's find you something to use while you wait." Your child looks up at you, not because the toy came back instantly, but because they know that you'll speak up for them every time. That's not just a toy conflict resolved. That's a child learning their voice matters even before they have the words for it themselves. Now, over time, of course, you want to teach them to resolve these issues on their own. This advice applies at the early toddler phase. Now, if today's parenting method gave you something useful, my free workshop walks through the full choices and checkpoints piece of the 5C's parenting framework, the same framework this method comes from, and how to apply it across all conflicts that your toddler has. Now, you can register anytime at drlindsayemmerson.com/workshop. And Amazing Parents Club members get ongoing support working through their own specific situations with me. Comment anchor below if you've ever frozen in this exact moment. I'd love to hear if this is something you've experienced. And if a moment like this ever escalates and a grab turns into a hit, theirs or another child's, you've probably already seen my video on it, the catch method, because the same calm, anchored response that you just learned is exactly where that method picks up. If you haven't caught it yet, it's linked right here. Keep up the good work on your amazing parenting journey.